Hello, in this lecture we talk about the story in the title of the great poem, The Knight in the Panther's Skin. So we start with the story. In a nutshell, the story of the great poem, The Knight in the Panther's Skin, it is about the adventures of two knights, Tariel and Aftandil. Tariel is the protagonist of the poem, he is the knight that wears the tiger skin, and Aftandil is the chief of staff of the Arab armies. In the next step, I'll talk about the story in detail. So we can actually divide the story of the great poem, The Knight in the Panther's Skin, into two parts. The first part is the search for Tariel, who is the protagonist of the poem. The second part is the search for Tariel's beloved, the Panther'S. So we start with the first part, the search for Tariel. One day, King Rostevan, who is the king of Arabia, goes to an hunting competition with Aftandil, who is the commander of King Rostevan's armies. During the competition, they take a break and they rest under a tree. And all of a sudden, they see a mysterious knight crying by a river. So King Rostevan wanted very much to know who is that mysterious knight. Therefore, he sent slaves in order to contact him. But the mysterious knight reacts violently, and he kills all the slaves that were sent by King Rostevan in order to contact him, and then disappears. Tinatin is the only daughter of King Rostevan, and she loves Aftandil. Aftandil also loves Tinatin. So Tinatin asks for her beloved Aftandil to find the mysterious knight in 3 years, and in return she will marry him. So Aftandil searches the mysterious knight all over the world, and after 2 years and 9 months he finds the mysterious knight. The mysterious knight tells him that his name is Tariel, and that he was the commander of India's fleet, and he also loves the Panther'S. The Panther'S is the daughter of King Parsedan, who is the king of India. But the problem was that she was abducted, the Panther'S was abducted, so from that point, Tariel sank into deep depression. He was always crying and sobbing, and he also secluded himself in a cave with only a maiden by his side. The name of the maiden is Asmat. Asmat helps Tariel to cope with the tragedy that he underwent. So Aftandil was very moved by the story of the mysterious knight Tariel, and therefore he becomes a friend of Tariel, and he also promises Tariel to help him to find his beloved, the Panther'S. So that is the first part of the story, the search for Tariel. The second part of the story is the search for the Panther'S, Tariel's beloved. So in the second part, Aftandil goes to search for the Panther'S, and after a lot of searching and investigation about her, he finds out that the Panther'S, Tariel's beloved, was abducted by the Kajis. The Kajis are demons. Therefore, Aftandil, Tariel, and Pridon, who is the ruler of the city Mugazanzar, go to the country of the Kajis in order to rescue the Panther'S from captivity. But the problem is that the country of the Kajis is a fortress, and it is actually impossible to infiltrate to that fortress. The second problem was that the Kajis are very strong warriors, so it is actually a possible mission to rescue the Panther'S from captivity by the Kajis. But against all the odds, the 300 soldiers, together with Tariel, Aftandil, and Pridon, succeeded to do the unthinkable. That is to say, they succeeded to rescue the Panther'S from captivity by the Kajis. The story has an happy ending in the sense that Aftandil marries Tinatin, and Tariel, the protagonist of the poem, marries his beloved, the Panther'S. So we finish to talk about the story of the great poem, The Knight in the Panther's Skin. In the next step, I'll talk about the title of the great poem. Actually, it is not clear if the animal in the poem is a panther or a tiger, so we'll assume that it is a tiger, and therefore the title of the great poem is The Knight in the Tiger Skin. The knight is Tariel, the protagonist of the poem that wears the tiger skin. Actually, there is a particular chapter in the poem that talks about Tariel that kills a lion and a panther. And the story of that particular chapter is as follows. One day, Tariel sees a lion that was chasing after a tiger. So Tariel thought that the lion was going to kill the tiger, and in order to rescue the tiger, he kills the lion and then goes to hug the tiger. But the tiger was very angry on Tariel because of the fact that the tiger and the lion were not fighting with each other, they were just playing a game. Therefore, the tiger starts to eat Tariel very strongly with his paws. So Tariel could bear no more the blows of the tiger, and therefore he eats back the tiger, and with one blow the tiger was killed. So it is actually a very tragic story. Why? Because of the fact that Tariel risked his life in order to save the tiger from the lion. But at the end of the story, he was the one that killed it. It is not intentionally, but that is the matter of the fact that he killed the tiger that he loved so much. Therefore, Tariel is very sorry about the fact that he killed the tiger, and he is also very angry on himself. And therefore, he decides to wear the tiger skin as a coat. So there are two reasons that Tariel wears the tiger skin. The first reason was it reminds him the tiger that he killed, the tiger that he loved so much that he killed, and it is also a reminder for him, his beloved, the Panther'S, that was abducted twice. How come that the tiger skin reminds him his beloved the Panther'S? Because of the fact that the face of the Panther'S was very similar to the face of the tiger. So it means again, there are two reasons that Tariel wears the tiger skin. The first reason, it is a reminder for him the tiger that he killed. And the second reason, it reminds him also his beloved the Panther'S that was abducted twice. You know that the tiger's figure is a very important figure in the poem. Why? Because of the fact that the name of the poem is The Knight in the Tiger Skin. The knight is Tariel, the protagonist of the poem, that wears the tiger skin. But the question is why the tiger's figure is a very important figure in the poem. And the answer is already mentioned before, because of the fact that the tiger's face is very similar to the Panther'S face, Tariel's beloved. Okay, thank you very much.